Well, hi folks, another fortnightly roundup. These roundups seem to be coming quicker than ever these days. So I'll just give you a quick look what's going round. Start off in the greenhouse, and then we'll go up to the plot and the polytunnel and stuff. Polytunnel, sorry. There are the spuds, still growing in pots. That's two that I've harvested and then replanted the leaves back in, and as you can see they've taken again, so I should get a few more of the immature ones getting a bit bigger that I can take later. So what have we got in here? I've just got quite a few peppers this year. I'm growing some of the oxhorn ones again, like I did last year, because I really like those. They're the sort of longer, more slender ones. There's a couple of normal ones there, bell peppers, and a couple more of the oxhorn ones. There's an oxhorn Diablo, which is a red one apparently, and two more of the green and yellow ones. On the tomato front, they're doing quite well now. I've only got a couple in here because I'm growing tons of giant ones in the polytunnel. So just a couple of Shirleys. They've perked up since they've been planted in the compost. A little gardener's delight there. And then a tumbling one in a pot, which has got the first few tomatoes on. And then the cucumber. As you all know, I'm the world's worst cucumber grower. I said that last year and I got quite a good crop, but it's looking a little bit slow at the moment. Sowed a few more lettuce to be planted outside when the ones that are growing outside are ready to be harvested, so I'll get a continuous crop. And I've grown a bit of rocket as well. The most tiny seed I've ever seen, rocket seed. But I do like a little bit of rocket. And the leeks, they should be about ready to go out in maybe a couple of weeks. They've been very slow this year, but they're getting quite nice now, some of them. About 8 or 9 inches tall. So just about the right size to be going in and planting outside in the garden. So we'll get up to the plot, have a look and see what's been going on up there, and I'll show you what's happening. Well, hi folks, up at the plot. It's a bit of a dull old night, so I don't know how bright it'll look, but things are growing okay. Peas settled in nicely now, growing away. Garlic's doing okay so far. It's looking a little bit yellow on some of the lower leaves, but I think that's just some of the older leaves, just with a little bit of dieback, natural dieback. Cabbages, since I transplanted them, they've sort of perked up, putting a little bit of size on now, so that's okay. The red cabbages, they're always a lot slower, but they tend to grow a lot later on into the season, sort of all into October, November time, so not too worried about those being slow. Managed to get all the banana shallots out. I'll show you the sort of size I planted them out at. I did those last week. They're about 6 inches tall with about 3 leaves on, so I thought it was about time to get them in. So I've put 3 rows of 30 in, so there's 90, and I've put the other sort of 20 odd spare ones behind my peas. So not too bad. The lettuces I planted out, they're doing remarkably well actually, and considering it's not been too warm. They should be ready to pick in, I would say, 2 or 3 weeks, some of them. Or I'll probably start taking them when they're quite small, because if you wait for them to get too big, then they're all ready then, and then they just go over. So, okay so far with the lettuces. I'll just show you the potatoes. Excuse the weeds, need to do some weeding. All my spuds are up and running now. There's some of the blue Danube Sarpos, which are a lot quicker than the normal Sarpo Miras, which are here, and the quickest ones of all obviously are the first earlies, some more Nicola and Charlottes in the smaller pots. It's getting a bit windy, so it might be a bit blowy. So that's the taters, and there's one of the Jerusalem artichokes again. I've no idea how to grow them or what they taste like, so we'll see how that gets on. Into my onion bed, the shallots doing okay, plenty of leaves on, just starting to split now. So I should get a few shallots quite early on. And the heat treated onion sets, after a really slow start, because I did plant them really early, perking up now. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Could do with a little bit of weeding. I weeded all this last week and everything's come back. It was like a lawn. It's just been ridiculous for weeds this year. And some of the kale that I've transplanted again, just 6 plants. And this is where I'm going to be planting my leeks, so I'm just trying to get the soil into a decent bit of condition. Then I'll net the holes and dib them into the holes as usual. And I think I'm going to plant some of the giant runner beans at the end of this. Let's see how they get on. I've got the Giant Marrows planted out now under these cloches, as you can see. Give them a little bit of protection and keep the wind off them until they start to establish themselves. But I've got 2 in now, and I've got another 2 that was spare, and I've planted those out in a couple of other spots. So we'll see how they get on. Just hoping to get a £100 this year. Try and get the dream £100. I got an £85 last year, so we'll see how we get on. We get a decent season with these. Started taking a bit of rhubarb now. This red variety, it's quite nice, but it's red at the bottom anyway. Got a few heads, a few crowns coming on. This is the one that's usually really small, and it's grown quite big this year because I've put a lot of chicken manure pellets on. So they must like nitrogen, so I think I'll do that in the future. Give them plenty of chicken muck. It seems to make them grow because, like I said, it's usually been quite a runt of a plant, but this year it's perked up a little bit. A few sweet peas in now. So I've got a good about 8-foot row of sweet peas. Put loads of slug pellets down because they were just getting absolutely battered by the slugs, and there's not a lot you can do. No alternative. We'll finish off in the polytunnel as usual. I'll just get in, see that without tripping up. Start off over here. Just about fully planted up now. Got my courgette in. It looks quite pitiful there, but believe me, it'll fill half of this bed up once it starts growing because it grows absolutely huge. Few sort of spare bits of kale and cabbage. I should throw those really because I won't plant them out. A couple of cucumbers. That's a tall one, and that's a little one. As you can see, that's one of the little ridge cucumbers that make little tiny, ugly but dead sweet cucumbers. Again, they look quite pathetic now in this bed, but once they fill up and start growing, it'll all look okay. And the French beans and the lettuces. These lettuces haven't flown on in the last couple of weeks in the polytunnel. I think I'll actually start taking them. Might as well take some at that side because they're going to fly on. So I'll be taking my first lettuce again before June. The French beans, they're just starting to grow now, vine up a bit, and they'll be twisting their way around the canes. Cobra beans as usual, just 6 canes. Like I say, that gives me plenty of beans, more than I need. So good, so far so good. The giant tomatoes, these are a couple of spare ones. I'm trying some in some pots. I'll probably just let them go to just for eating rather than trying to grow any record ones because they're just like a really tasty beefsteak tomato. And we'll see how they get on. The carrot, remember I had this carrot saga with something eating me carrots. They did that whole row in one a night, and I thought, oh, I'm going to lose them all. And as quickly as it started, it finished, and I still don't know what it was that was munching him away. Anyway, I sowed some more seed in the little holes that they'd eaten, and most of them have come back up, so I'm only about 4 short now. And they don't look too bad, growing away quite well now. These are the stump carrots for the shows. And these are the long carrots for the shows. I don't know where all these seeds, these weeds have come from. They must have been in the sand. But I've let a couple grow, and I think they're actually dock leaves, so just have to keep constantly pulling all the weed seeds out, but it's a pest really. Same with that, but they're going alright, the carrots. Not too bad at all. Like I said, these are the ones I'm growing for show, for the big giant tomatoes. So I've just put 3 in this bed. One's from a £5 one, I think. One's from my own, and one's from one of my mates who got one about £4.5 last year at Harrogate. See, they're only small at the moment, but they'll perk up, and we'll see if we can get a really daft giant tomato this year. Right, the giant carrots, looking okay. Try and give you a bit of scale. That's how big they are. I don't know whether to keep the white polythene on or not. I might just take it off actually, because I've never tried it before, and if I take it off, it might warm the soil up and get them growing a little bit bigger. But we'll see. They're growing steadily away so far. I think that's about the biggest. So it's looking okay. And then I'll just show you the onions. We'll get round this side. So these are the onions. And I'm as happy as I could be really. They're as big as I've ever grown them at this time of year. And they're looking okay. We've got plenty of leaves on. Still putting lots of leaves out from the centre. None of them have split. None of them have gone to seed. So far so good. If I show you the size, you'll probably see a difference since last time. They're just starting to bulb now, and they've got plenty of leaves, so there should be plenty of energy to put into the bulb. and hopefully get my dream £10 honey in this year. But like I said, they're as big, well, they're a lot bigger than I've ever grown them before. I've grown one to £9.12 before, and I compared a picture that I took of that at the same time, and they were absolutely tiny compared to these. So hopefully if we can keep these growing, we might just do it. So that's about it, I think, folks. Another 2 weekly roundup. Things are doing okay, can't complain. Weather's a bit dull, but it should warm up a bit hopefully once we get into June. So that's about it, folks, on a grim, bit of a grey old evening. Just another quick roundup. That's about it, folks. See you later.